What is up, YouTube? I have a very special series planned out for you guys. As you can see in the username, this is not my usual account. This is a brand new account that I'll be playing, taking full advantage of the Epic 7 7-year anniversary. And I am not sponsored whatsoever to make this series. Now, the reason why I want to make this series is because I've kind of accomplished everything that I wanted to do in Epic 7 already. And what better way to kind of give back to you guys than make a banger video series? Because I did abandon my Katie's Only account in the past, and just because life got a little bit too busy. But I do want to introduce some of the goals for this account. The goal is basically to get into Legend Guild War as soon as possible. I might be missing a lot of Moonlight characters, but I'm going to show you guys exactly step by step how I'm going to be planning this account to get to that high ranked Guild War as soon as possible. And now there are a few rules that I have to follow, as any series would, any challenge would. I have to stay free to play completely. That means no monthly packs, no burning passion packs, no sky stones, no packs, nothing. It has to be relatable so that if you guys are planning on making an account like this too, you guys can refer to it and almost like a guide. And the other rule that I have set for this account is that I am not allowed to use my connections to get into a high ranking guild. I have to apply as any other person would, and I'm not going to be able to use my connections to do so. And that's basically it, right? I think those are pretty good rules. I could definitely squeeze my account in and very quickly and try to mooch off as a leech, but we're not looking to do that. We're looking to hold our own weight, and we're going to build our account so that we can do so. And if you guys enjoyed this series, please consider dropping a like and comment for the algorithm. Subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And I will be streaming this on Twitch basically every day. So if you guys ever want to check in on the progress, you can go over there and drop me a follow. But without further ado, let's get into our account. I welcome you, Guild War Legend Rush. Now, the first thing that I'm going to be looking to do on this new account is I do want to fill up my friends list as quickly as possible. I want to make sure that I have some supporters that can carry me through some harder adventure stages, and I will use them sparingly. If I can get through the content without any supporter, that'd be the most ideal, as they do go on cooldowns. But having friends and using supporters will be really helpful early on, as I will also need to unlock the friendship points that I'll be needing so that I can purchase my 40 energy, my conquest flags, and friendship bookmarks, and everything that I need from this shop, as it'll be really helpful with speeding up the account progression. And so we're going to get that filled up and make that a priority. But if you are playing on a new account, make sure you do so as well. And now, honestly, the last time I made a new account, it was not before like the 6th World episodes and stuff like that. So it's a little bit weird because this is kind of like my first playthrough going through the new kind of adventure that they have set out for you. And it's kind of interesting because like you're not using like the ARAS or like Vildred and stuff like that super early on. You're kind of using like Guard Captain Crow as like an intro to the 6th World, which is gonna take a little bit of an adjustment, to be honest, and also with the new adventure and how it works. But we're not gonna let that stop our progression whatsoever. We're gonna blitz through this, and I'll see you guys when we're at the end. Chapter 1 completed. Chapter 2 completed. So this is kind of my first time seeing this, but we have the level 75 attack and HP set, which I think I'm a little bit familiar with, and we get the 5-star summon ticket on day 7, and 1 mil gold, which is pretty good, and we get 80 energy. So we're going to make sure we try to log in as much as possible, and we're going to, I guess, just get blasted straight into the summons. With Argent Wave Hua-Young, not a character that I'm going to be super high priority on, but Epic Dash Pass, I'm going to be focusing on these missions basically super high priority. And you can see some of this gear, which you guys may or may not be familiar with already. I'm going to be trying to get all of this ASAP. And again, I cannot buy this with Sky Stones as I'm free to play, as all my Sky Stones are going to go towards refreshing. And as much as I hate that, we're going to have to make that work. But we're going to collect this, and let's move on. Okay, so my first ever summon on the account, I did not expect to get a Shine. I don't know if you're always supposed to get... Oh, maybe you are supposed to always get Angelica, so there's that. I guess she's going to be good for Wyvern and an early game healer, so yeah. And we now have the helmet as well, so let's go. Looks like our first speed set completed. We got the body and the boots. Let's go. Wow, I did not know they give so many Sky Stones. That's 800, 1000. That's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So that's what, 4,000, 4,005, 5,006, 5,005, 6. So they give you 6,000 free sky stones just on this alone. That's crazy. And even the epic pass, I mean, that would be insane as well, 1,400%. But these are all the premium rewards, so I'm only going to be able to get 1,000 as I am going to have to stay free to play, but 1,000 is still going to be really good for helping us kickstart the account. All right, we're now starting episode 3, and we're finally able to unlock auto battle and 2 times speed. So this is really going to help us speed up the progression in terms of clearing out the episodes. But I think in terms of quality of life, I mean, Epic 7 has done a really good job at making the new player experience very good. I gotta say, I think before we had to clear up to like episode like chapter 1, 10, 10 or something, which took actually quite a while, maybe up to like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you had to go because you were at 1 time speed. So overall, I'm really liking the new player experience so far, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll see you guys when episode 3 is completed. Episode 3 completed. Free Spirit Tierra completed, unlocked, and now she's going to be my primary DPS for the early game. New best in slot ring completed. And we now have unlocked Iseria, which is going to be the 4th unit in our team. Going to be very helpful for the turn reset and the defense breaks. Now, one of the unlocks on a new account that are super important is actually a 3-star Awakened Free Spirit Tierra. And the reason for that is because every time you kill the mobs with an S2, it'll reset the cooldown, which is really, really helpful, especially on her own artifact, as it helps you power through a lot of the adventure. So if you are thinking of clearing Spirit Altar or anything, definitely want to prioritize Free Spirit Tierra as a 3rd Awakening so that you can make the stages way, way faster. Chapter 4 completed. On to the next section, which I believe is Chapter 1 of Episode 1. Now, since I have Chapter 4 unlocked, I can do Ogre's Armory now, which I don't really know how good of gear I'm going to get. Hopefully the gear is actually decent, or usable, at least in the early game. And looks like it is completely trash, so we're going to try to move on. So I cleared the next difficulty. Looks like the gear is still pretty trash, so I don't think I can clear hard anymore since at the time of the clear it takes, it's just way too long. So we're going to go back to doing episode clears, as it's just not worth it until I get all of my pieces plus 15. All right, this is a really big moment on the account. If I can luck sack on these 10 free pulls that I got, it'll be really, really helpful for me. So hopefully I'm able to hit. And I am going to be saving the Twin Librarian bookmarks just in case there are some need for the bookmarks with any like limiteds or any units that will be coming out shortly. As I can use them there as well. But let's see what we get. Oh, that is a good sign. I don't know if you always get a 5-star or not, but we're gonna go ahead and skip it just because I'm not gonna milk you guys. That's great. Absolutely worthless. GG's. Now, this is going to be a really big moment in the account as well in terms of our first Moonlight Blessing, in terms of which hero I'm going to be planning on taking. Now, out of all the characters, I do think that Dark Orbis is going to be the best so that I can use him to kind of S3 and kill off teams that are, really like heavy AoE, but they don't really have much kill pressure. Which wouldn't be too bad. I think RB and Spectre Tenebra are going to help us clear out a lot of the Abyss and also climbing an arena as well. And since this is going to be not really a speedrun account, but mainly I do want to progress as fast as possible, I am going to pick up Spectre Tenebria, which I think in a lot of cases is the best choice, just so that I can use her in Abyss. And there's floors like floor 92 or floors where there's poison, where she's going to be really, really impactful. And I can put my kind of speed gear on her as well if I ever decide to move away from Free Spirit Tierra. So we're going to definitely start her Moonlight Blessing and kind of work on her missions slowly but surely. And we're going to go right ahead. All right, this is going to be our first set of arena attacks on the account. It does look like they're all bots very early on, so that you don't have to, fight against people who are like level 60 accounts and stuff like that. So the 100% increase on the conquest points is also very, very nice. And obviously hitting gold 5 is one of the missions in unlocking Spectre Tenebria. So whenever we have the conquest flags, we're definitely going to be using these ASAP. And even if there's a 1 refresh, I'm going to be prioritizing it super hard just so that we can unlock a higher rank ASAP, as that's also going to unlock more generation for Sky Stones on a week-to-week basis. So we're going to get these done and move on. New best in slot necklace unlocked. A huge unlock on the account, 4,500 armbands, and now we're going to go ahead into the guild shop and pick up a few things. Now, some of the things I think new players overlook a lot of the time is actually the equipment conversion gems. This is going to be the direct unlock for us to get right side gear for crit damage neck, speed boots, attack rings, and things like that. So even on a new account, this is going to be the number one priority for me to buy these, and I will be donating gold. Even though I only have 300k, I have to get as much Brave Crest as possible so that I can start buying out the shop, like the Molagoras and the equipment conversion chest gems, and the number one way of generating artifact charms in the game early on is through the guild shop. So I'm definitely going to want to try to prioritize this as much as possible. But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and pick up the mystic metals as they are going to be super, super important for the account. The gold transfer stones are going to be kind of on the back burner. And like I said, Warhorn is going to be one of the artifacts that I'll be needing very, very early on just to increase my attack for the entire team super, super early on. And I won't need the symbol and whatnot for now, so I'm going to pick up all the Warhorns I can get, and I'm going to fuse them together, and we're going to put it on one of our PvE characters so that our TRA has an easier time clearing, and we're going to try to blitz through even more episodes, so let's get right onto it. Archie unlocked. Mercedes unlocked. Episode 1, Main Quest 1, completed. Chapter 2, Spectre Tenebria, completed. Another chapter, completed. Alright, so I am doing Labyrinth right now just to unlock it for Path of the Air missions, but one thing I do want to mention is that if you are going to be able to come to Huche, Huche has a lot of good stuff where it's going to be a little bit expensive in terms of the charms and stuff, but like I mentioned earlier in the video, you are going to need to get artifact charms to level it up, and very early on, you're not going to be able to get a lot of guild currency for Brave Crest, so I usually always on a fresh account or just on my own account, I always come to Huche every day and I make it a priority, and I recommend that you do that as well if you are on a new account. So that's just going to be in the first Hall of Silence in Tyrell Castle in Labyrinth. So there you go. I did claim that a little bit too quick, but anytime you are going to be doing Labyrinth, you do want to make sure that you're clearing it 100% of the time, because if you're not, you're missing out on a lot of free stuff. And in Tyrell Chaos, which is the first level of Labyrinth, you're going to get basically a whole attack set, right? Which you can use on like Expected Tenebria or Free Spirit Tieria or whatever, right? You're going to really need this kind of stuff early on as the DPS gear is very, very limited. So definitely make this a priority and clear it 100% if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and clear it later on, which is going to be really, really inconvenient and a waste of your time. And since we are min-maxing, we're going to be obviously clearing 100% of all the Labyrinth if possible. And this is going to be our first few clears of Abyss. Now, we are going to have to clear out Abyss to floor number 3 just to get our Path of Air completed. But the early waves are super, super quick, especially if you have Tieria. I do recommend you kind of enhance your Tieria's weapon and ring just for the raw flat base attack and also the attack percent on the ring so that you can clear content a lot easier. Things like helmets and bodies and for like substats are a little bit less important, but just getting the raw damage so that even if you miss on a crit, you're still going to be able to clear it without any issues at all. And that's kind of exactly what I'm doing, and just kind of getting through Abyss as far as I can before I can't really one-shot anymore. And it's probably going to be this stage if I had to guess, but Flower Shower on Free Spirit Tier is just so good. So I highly recommend you guys kind of go with the same path as well if you are going to be playing on a new account. Now, obviously, the penguins early on are very important for me, and most guilds are going to request for the white summoning or promotion material, but in kind of like a lower end guild like I'm in right now, I'm just going to commit all of my penguins in there just because, like I mentioned earlier, the member shop is really important where you're going to have to clear the artifact charms and also get the equipment conversion gem chest. So make sure you support and donate or aid as much as you can, and obviously participate in guild where possible. But mainly it's just aiding even though you don't want to, just because it's just super high priority. All right, and like I mentioned, I am going to be a free-to-play account, so there's a bunch of free stuff in the growth sprint packages, so you definitely want to claim those out. Obviously, if you pay for it, it's kind of a bait, but it's basically free stuff, so make sure you claim it as well, as it's going to be very helpful as well in progressing any little bit that you can. Now, normally I don't really buy any of this stuff in the pets, but you are going to be really needing to kind of prioritize pets eventually as you progress throughout the game. And obviously, the pets are going to allow you to auto battle for battle pets, and lobby is going to give you passive skills. For me, I'm going to be highly prioritizing buying these bottom three things. Gold is really hard to come by early on in Epic 7, but what you can pick up is the toys, because the toys are going to allow you to play with your pets in game, so that you can increase your like what do you call it, like your affinity with them, so that you unlock more skills. So make sure you're buying this out on a new account basically like every week, because it's rotational, and if you miss out on this, you're missing out on a lot of progression on your pet, even though they've kind of updated the pet system over time. But this is really helpful as you stack more and more of it over the weeks. All right, so Path of the Air, I was like, oh wow, we're gonna get a 4-star, and it's fucking Rin. So completely useless. GG's. Let's go next. Okay, so we've hit rank 15 in the Epic Dash event. We're going to be able to get a 5-star hero, so I really hope it's something good, like a Crow, or like a Mort, or like a Janua if I ever get Seafen Hippolytus, but we'll find out. Let's see. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Give me something good. Show me a knight. Show me a knight. Start off the account strong, baby. That's not a knight. That's not a knight. Honestly, not terrible, but I'm not going to have speed gear for a while, so this character is going to be kind of useless, but it will be usable in Guild War, so there's that. Chapter 4, completed. Alright, another monumental moment on the account, Path of the Air 5, we do get a 5-star hero selector, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up, and we are absolutely going to be using that. Now, who are we going to be using, you might ask? Now, in our tier list, obviously we already get our Syria. A lot of these characters, if we're thinking about just from a PvP perspective in terms of how useful they will be, honestly, I would probably say Destina out of all these characters. I can't see us using any other character in Guild War. Maybe like Sez for like a follow-up, but Destina is just going to be the most useful for like scout, like if I ever do end up scouting, which I do plan to. Taiwan's pretty good in some Harseti comps, but I'm probably just going to stick with Destina since she's going to be a good reliable healer as well when I don't need to use Angelica. And we're going to go ahead and lock that in since we also get Sigrid from like later on for free from the game. So first 5-star selector going over to Destina. Let's go. Another huge unlock for the account. We have unlocked a 85 attack set, which we unfortunately can't reforge, but this is going to be very useful on a DPS, and I'm going to go put that on right now. So like I mentioned earlier, you are going to have to do 2 entries for area 2 since we are going to have to unlock this helmet, which is another attack piece, which would be helpful for gearing DPS. Unfortunately, I don't have enough camping. You can use the Cecilia bot for camping simulator so that you can generate as much whatever that green point thing is, but that's area 2 completed, so let's move on. Floor 15 Abyss completed. Chapter 5 completed. Well, just did my Heart of Orbis, and this is the best I can get. If you are a new player and you are watching this, you don't want to claim anything, right? You don't want to claim anything as you do have 24 days remaining. So what that means is you're going to get a bunch of purifications every Monday, and you're going to be able to unlock a higher level, which is going to increase your odds of getting better rewards, which is why you don't want to claim it at the start of the month. You always want to claim it at the very end. Otherwise, you're kind of just trolling your potential of what you can hit in the Heart of Orbis. So just an PSA, I guess you would say. Commander Arena unlocked. A huge unlock on the account as we just finished Path of Air 8 by clearing episode 6, and now we have a usable HP set on like Angelica or Destina, so our team doesn't just die every single map. So very, very good, and we are going to be able to get our artifact selector, and I'm absolutely going to be showing you guys what I'm going to be pulling. Honestly, I haven't really thought that much about what I'm going to use, to be honest with you guys, but I do think that Holy Sacrifice is an artifact I need to start working on, as this is not going to be, these are not super high priority, I would say. Like, Rod of Amaryllis is good, Bloodstone's good for PvE, but Holy Sacrifice in Guild War is going to be so impactful, especially with Crow into like Renac, and I need to start focusing on Holy Sacrifice to get it to plus 30. Otherwise, my account's going to be really tough to play in Guild War. I can't run comps that are like, 75, 80, 20% lose condition with Holy Sac not max. So I'm absolutely going to pick that up. I'm going to pick this up over any other artifact that could help me in the interim. So we're going to go with that. GG's. And I guess we've also unlocked the secret shop. This is going to be the main way that we're going to be getting Mystic Metals and Covenant bookmarks into the game so that we can get the new best and greatest artifacts, or sorry, heroes. And obviously, I can't get to Secret Shop level 13 yet as I need to progress further in the game, but this is a huge unlock for the account so that I can start refreshing and get a higher rank in the account as soon as possible so that we can prepare for all the potential good limiteds and hopefully get like an Emerald Tenebria or Emerald Ras or just any ML5 that can help my account. So let's go. Alrighty, Epic Dash Event Premium Moonlight Summon. Here we go. Will we be able to get anything good from these 5? If we can hit an ML5, it's going to be so helpful for the account. Okay, so we got Hazel. That's useless. I'm not even going to bait you guys. Revna, useless. Come on, give me a shine. Okay, another Hazel, useless. No shines. Talia, useless. Yeah, we're fucking cooked. GG's. Alright, Path of Air 9, another huge unlock. Obviously, we're... Oh, thank God! I was gonna say, I really hope I don't get Destina, but the fact that we got the Rowana is huge for Guild War. That is massive. That is a massive unlock for the account. I'm really, really happy with the Rowana. God dang it, thank God. Alright, another 10 summons going into the account. Hopefully we hit something good. Hopefully, a shine. You gotta be shitting me. Alright, this account is bricked. GG. Alright, so that is going to conclude the first episode of the Guild War Legend Rush account. Now, there has been quite a few things that I want to point out. Obviously, to recap the episode, we have our Free Spiteria 6-starred and level 15. We're getting her gear kind of rolling. And Iseria is up, Destina's in Grace of Growth, Selector Tenebria is level 50, and if you're wondering why I have 3 characters level 50, is because in the Grace of Growth, you are going to be able to unlock another kind of, applied effect for Destina to get +3 on the Molagora, so that she does get a little bit more healing and kind of, CR and stuff like that, but realistically, it doesn't matter too much, it's more so for missions and stuff like that. Currently on the account, we are on Path of Air. We are Path of Air 10. So for day 1, that is going to be a very, very good progression standpoint, I guess you could say. It's already 3 a.m., so I honestly can't really play that much more since I have to wake up and go to the gym. But the account overall is coming on very nicely. We've picked up Roana, we've picked up Spectre, we got Destina, Iseria, obviously, and we do have a Knockwall, which at the moment is not going to be super impactful, but it will be eventually, I hope. And we got the Sea Larina obviously unlocked as well. And if you guys did enjoy this first episode, or if you guys have any ideas or anything I should pay attention to for episode number 2, let me know in the comments below, and I'm really excited to share this with you guys, so look forward to every new episode. Take care. Bye!